Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live with episode 4, I think,
Yep,
of In Response
that's
to.
what it says. Okay, well, it's the show notes say it's episode 3, and I hadn't updated it yet. So,
So it's episode 4 then.
yeah.
We'll get around to like actually being streamlined for the intros and stuff like that one of these days. But we're here to talk Magic stuff, talk Modern. Um, we've got states that took place, so we'll be talking a little bit about states. There's some upcoming GPs this fall that we'll be talking about. We'll be talking a little bit about the ban list. So lots of kind of bouncing around to talk about today.
It's gonna be one crazy show.
Crazy. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's not been a lot going on
Yeah.
in Modern lately.
It's been pretty quiet. And a lot of that too has been because we got a new set, and so a lot of people are very focused on Standard right now, with Battle for Zendikar, with some crazy prices on Standard cards.
Ugh, oh,
Um, you know,
and Modern cards, I guess, too, if you consider Jason Modern card.
Jace is good
Which
in
I
every
do.
format.
Yeah.
And Gideon can be seen in a couple of Modern lists as well.
Okay.
I've seen
He's
it.
fairly insanely priced as well. Like,
Yeah, 42, 45,
ugh,
somewhere in there.
so much
So I'm
money.
holding off and waiting to pick mine up. I could use it for Standard right now, but I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good. But like for Gideon, you can see him in like the Black White Tokens list. You can see him in Abzan list. So you can see him in a lot of different stuff right now. So
Yeah, I guess the question is, like, do you like this better than Soren?
no,
Yeah,
like I run 3 Soren's main board in my Black White Token list, and I know a lot of the Abzan lists are going to have 1 and 1. At least have
right.
one Soren and one Gideon, because like the emblem's great. Like
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about Gideon. You can play him in just emblem,
yeah.
which,
So,
like, I think those decks would play more emblems if they could, or sorry, not emblems. Like, Crusade effects if they could.
yeah.
But I don't think you have enough room in your deck for that because you just need threats. But this is a threat and a Crusade, so
Yeah. So
that's just really good.
works out great.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the lists that we're talking about today have Jace or.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the lists could definitely have fit Jason, I think, but
The middle one there, yeah.
yeah. Actually, I lied. The Esper list has 4 of.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Jace's real card is like 80 bucks. That's how you know.
Yeah, that's. I at least have 2 of them. So
Okay.
I didn't get to pick up a playset before they skyrocketed. I was able to pick
Yeah.
them up when they were still like decent prices for 2. and
So-
then, like, yeah.
My original thought of Jace was awful,
Yeah.
and then I kind of started to. I had a friend who really liked him. He's like, "Yeah, this is like a legacy card, like vintage." All right, well, I generally trust your opinion, so maybe I'm gonna do this. I was so close to buying a set when they were like 14 bucks. Like, yeah, whatever. I'll just wait.
Oh wait, yeah.
Over $80 a piece now.
Yeah.
I wish I'd bought like 50.
Right.
I made a
Just,
killing,
like,
man.
flipping them out.
Yeah, jeez. Oh well, what can you do?
Yeah. What can you do? So let's talk a little bit about
Our weeks.
our weeks.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
Did you play game day? Is my main question.
Yes.
Okay, you did. Our game day is today, so I'm
So
gonna.
we had one Saturday and Sunday. So
Okay.
I'm not going today, but I did play yesterday with the trolliest deck in Standard. Do you know
What's
what
the
it is?
trolliest deck in standard?
Just Guy Ascendancy.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, because now you have that Merfolk that turns your lands into creatures.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you play
me when
spells,
kill
and you
people
can
with-
untap all of your lands, and you have
Ah.
infinite mana. And you run Sphinx's Tutelage.
Oh,
So it's the
It's
trolliest deck.
it's so troll.
I tied for 4th place with it, so.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I was
People
pretty-
probably just got mad and conceded.
It was, well, a lot of my matches went to time,
Right.
but I was able to seal it out in the end. The only deck that I lost to was the Jeskai Black deck.
Okay.
where they're just like.
Well, I'm not playing the trolliest deck ever. I have a problem. Like, I'm playing John.
Nah, I figured.
It's not even good. Like, I know that this deck's bad. I shouldn't play it, but I'm going to anyway. Like, I don't even have it finished. I don't have any Radiant Flames. So, like, I'm running the... What's the 3-mana one that deals 2 damage? Seismic Rupture or something? I had Seismic Rupture in my sideboard because, like, I can't kill Ornithopter tokens and, like, Goblin tokens, so I just need it. Like, well, 2 damage isn't much worse than 3. Here I am just crying because I don't have any. But apparently if you top 8, you get Radiant Flames.
Yeah,
that's
it's
promo,
pretty
right?
cool promo.
So, hopefully I get some of those and I can make my Jund deck
And
better.
Stasis Snare is the promo you get just for participating.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that the promos now are actually useful.
Yes.
I don't even remember which promo it was, but like one of the F&M promos. Oh, it was Absent Beastmaster. I would just rip them up when I got them.
Sweet.
Like, this is stupid.
Useless cards.
It got bad, man. Like I ripped up what's the one that was right after the Frostwalker?
Oh yeah.
Frostwalker, innocent Frostwalker just got destroyed by me. But whatever.
I have 2 standard decks right now though, but I decided since it was game day. I also have
what's the other?
Esper Control.
Oh, okay.
Minus the Gideons. But
minus the $40 card. Why is that? I don't understand.
I don't know. Well, I've got Obnixilis and Sorens and stuff like that, and
this is like kind of off topic, but I actually think mythics, like, we shouldn't have them, or like they should be more common.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Or like that needs to be the case, or they need to not be 4-ofs, because that's the problem here. Like, you can say Origins was under open, or you can just say that Jace shouldn't have been mythic.
Yeah.
Or Jace should have been more easily available, but it's not. So we end up with $80 Jaces.
Which is crazy.
Oh well. So you want to talk about some States decks?
Yes. Let's go into the actual purpose of the show, which is Modern.
What do you mean? So, I'm not talking about Standard?
Well, so States was Standard and Modern, but we're only going to talk Modern for you guys.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much the Northeast had their States. Because I didn't really see any States for anywhere else.
I don't know.
I mean, Maryland had it, so I guess just the East Coast really was kind of States that I noticed, but I could be wrong. And just for at least for autumn, it looked like Maryland, New Jersey, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Delaware were the 8 states that did participate for it.
Well, it's a Star City thing, right? So I guess they would only be doing the Eastern Coast stuff.
Yeah, which is cool with me. So,
yeah, you're fair.
so we've got a lot of the decks that did well at States are the normal decks that you're expecting to see. We've got Amulet Bloom, we've got Tron, we've got the Jund list, we've got Affinity, Merfolks, just the
usual suspects.
The usual suspects. There was a couple lists from pretty much every state that I thought were interesting enough to talk about, or at least decks that you might see some of these lists if you go to a big event. Some of them you might not. Some you might start seeing a lot more because they're really cool. But the first one that got 7th place at one of the states was the Obliterator Rock deck. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about this because this is kind of your color pie that you like.
This is my jam. I was actually really close to building this deck.
Okay.
So it's basically your Jund deck. Like, it's trying to do the same thing. You're trying to play a long, grindy game with a lot of removal and discard and stuff like that. But this deck takes that to the next level, where Jund can be a little aggressive and put some damage on your opponent. This deck, a lot like Death Cloud, just kind of wants to grind your opponent out real slow. So you're playing cards like Phyrexian Obliterator is where it gets its name from, which is a 4-mana 5/5. It's 4 black mana, so it's kind of hard to cast with Trample. And it's got the reverse of the old Obliterator, where when it takes damage, that damage source is controller X permanents, and X is how much damage it took. The old one is you sack that much, but it was like a 3-mana card. So playing this is obviously very good.
Yes.
Because you're either hitting them for 5 every turn, which is hard. It can block all their stuff, and even if you trade this, it's gonna trade favorably. Like if they do 5 damage to this thing to kill it, you're just gonna win.
Yeah.
You just like take out my 6 for 1. It's pretty good.
Look how awesome that was.
Yeah. So they're playing 3 of these. They really just want to get that effect. Scavenging is Tarmogoyf, kind of the same. Same things you'd see in Jund. The sweet one here that just tickles my heart is Vampire Nighthawk.
I love Vampire Nighthawk.
Oh man, this is like one of my favorite cards. I was really hoping it would come back in the new set because I'd just play 4 of them.
Yeah.
But didn't happen. He's got 2 here, and I really like this. It's just, again, it's a good grindy card that's very versatile. Pretty sweet. And then a lot of the spells are the Jund spells. There's Abrupt Decay, Golgari Charm. He's got some interesting ones here, like Putrefy and Phyrexian Arena is sweet. But, it's generally the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
He's just diversified his removal, mainly because no lightning bolts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a really sweet deck. You need to have... I actually would think that... My cat's going crazy, sorry. I would actually think that you'd want more Twilight Mires in this deck. Like, he's run 2? I feel like 3 or even 4 is where you want to be here.
Oh, yeah, especially for the Obliterator to get all that double black.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's probably, like, consideration for, budget. Because getting 4 Tarmogoyfs and all this, like, Obliterators and stuff, which are $35, it's all pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So him not having the full set of Twilight Mires, or, like, 3 of them or whatever, is forgivable, certainly.
Yeah.
So it's still a really sweet deck. I think one of my favorite things about it is you get to run 4 Treetop Village.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a good card, man. I can only run 1 in Jund. I wish I could run 4.
Here's my 3/3
Yeah, it's so good. It's just so efficient. 2 mana to get this effect.
I also like that his sideboard pretty much consists of one-ofs.
Yeah, it's all 1-ofs except for Fulminator Mage and Kitchen Finks, which are both 2s. Yeah, Batterskull, Obstinate Ballast, Leyline of the Void, Phyrexian Arena, Decay, Dark Blast, Golgari Charm, Shadow of Doubt. That's sweet. Bow of Nylea, which is also really cool. Creeping Corrosion and Raven's Crime. A lot of these are just going back to the we're gonna grind.
Yeah, yep.
Like Phyrexian Arena. I love Bow of Nylea, by the way.
Oh, I do too. I mean, it's so many good effects.
Yeah, especially with Obliterator, where it's got Trampled Death Touch if it attacks.
Yeah.
So not only are you trading like 6 permanents to kill their Obliterator, but it just dealt 4 to you anyway. Or like 3 or 2 or whatever. Oh man, that's gross. That is gross.
So yeah, we don't really see very many rock decks out there, but if you will, it's going to be some sort of variation on this, really.
Yeah, a lot of the times you can either play the Obliterators or not. Is the big thing. Like you're playing Deathcloud, you're playing Obliterator, or you can just play Green Black Rock.
Yeah.
All of those are fine choices. If you don't want the Obliterators or the Deathclouds, Corsair Cryphix is like the card that makes Rock possible.
Yeah.
So I would play like 3 of those. It's very good.
Cool. So sliding over to some of the other decks, a newer deck that's been popping around lately. It's the Jund Prowess deck. It's a sweet deck, and you can do so much damage in 1 turn. It's ridiculous. So again, it's in your color palette.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a rundown of what this deck is designed to do?
I love how the first 2 of these are like the deck I play with a little twist on it. The big difference here between your typical Jund and this deck is obviously you've got 4 Abbots and 4 Monasteries, so Spears, main deck. And what you've cut to get that is your Lilianas, which, woo, I don't know, man. I think Liliana Veils is so good, and he's run 0 of them. This might be, again, kind of a budget thing where, maybe you can't afford the lilies because they're $100. And, again, getting 4 Goyfs and then getting the 4 lilies after is really difficult, but that's kind of the world we live in for Jund. I wish it was cheaper, or I wish it had been cheaper when I was building it. Now, obviously, it should just get as expensive as possible. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like what he's done here. So 4 Abbots, 4 Swift Spears are the only actual prowess creatures.
Right.
But running 4 Confidants in this deck seems just free. Like, look at the mana cost on all these cards. It's 3 is the highest with Kulgan's Command. Everything else is, 0 with your lands in Mishra's Bauble. 1, 2, or 3, or 1 or 2. I guess there's Dismember too. So there's like three mana cards in this deck, and the rest are under 3. So I think this is the best Dark Confidant deck as far as Jund goes.
Yeah.
Like, taking 6 extra Taskers sucks.
Oh yeah.
But it's worth it because Tasker's so good. This deck just doesn't need Tasker. Abbott's like a 7/6 sometimes because all this stuff's so cheap.
Yeah, and Swift Spear, and plus you've got Rancor in there too, so it's just like all good stuff all the time.
I like the Mishra's Baubles are really interesting. For anyone who doesn't know Mishra's Bauble, which is kind of a bit of an outlier, it's a 0 mana artifact, and you can tap it to sacrifice it. Look at the top card of target player's library, draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So you don't pay any mana at all for this card. You just get to look at the top card of their deck and draw a card. So it cantrips, it triggers prowess, and it also fuels Delve in a lot of decks, but not this one.
No, but I mean, sitting here and being able to go, yeah, look, now my Swift Spear can swing in for 2 damage already.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can just do this in turn 1. Which is so cool. I wouldn't really recommend it, actually. I think you would probably want to get like 3 of your browse creatures out, or like 2 or 3 of them, and then do it. But, I mean, if you need to draw land, that's perfectly reasonable. Just do this turn 1.
Yep.
Would you play this deck?
If
assuming like this deck just like appeared on your desk.
I probably would try it out a few times.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's got some great creatures in there and great removal. But I've played against it a couple times, and seeing how you can just blow people out of nowhere and be like, with like a Swift Spear, with a Goyf on board, and then you're just like, okay, you know what? Goyf's like a 3/5 or whatever, Swift Spear's 1/2. Not that worried. And then they're like, oh, look, here's my Bauble, here's Rancor, here's a Bolt, boom, 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 and now you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, so
it looks very explosive.
Yes.
I feel like this deck is similar to the Hate Bears decks in that if you know how to play against it, you're so much more advantaged.
Yeah.
Like the Hate Bears deck, people don't practice against it because they don't want to. But I think I've told you this. Like, I have a friend of mine who just played that deck a bunch, and I just kept playing him, and now I win most of matches because I know how to play versus it. And he's like, yeah, I can't beat you. You don't fall into the traps. I'm like, yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I think this is another one that's similar to that. I do like that you can just like, oh look, I have Abbott Goyf. Okay, Bauble, you're dead.
Yep.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, I think that Jund players in general should just pick up the extra pieces for it. So they can rotate between their regular Jund list and then this list and stuff like that.
I mean, the difference in monetary value from what you're leaving, which is your lilies and some lands, to what this deck needs, which is like Baubles, Rancor, Seal of Fire.
Yeah.
It's so negligible. You just do it. Like, I guess, yeah, I mean, I have most of these cards anyway. I actually need just the Bauble, a Rancor, and a Seal of Fire, and I have everything else.
Yeah,
so
see?
It's free. I'll bring it to an FNM. They're like, oh, Brandon's playing Jund again, and then they die on turn 3.
Like, yes, I am playing Jund.
Different. Right. Yeah, I am technically playing Jund, yes.
But yeah, this is the list that you're going to start seeing a little bit more often, or slight variations on it. But the Jund Prowess is popped up. Who was it? Was it Owen that made this deck, or Patrick Chapin? One of those guys was.
Chapin had a teamer version of it.
Okay, yeah.
Which is really sweet too. Mm-hmm. I was very close to trying to build that deck. I'm like, oh, I gotta get Tarns. Screw it. I only have 1. I need 4 because Scalding Tarn is the best fetch ever. Apparently,
it is.
Scalding Tarn and Verdant Catacomb. Like, if you're playing any of them, you just play 4.
Yeah. So yeah, those lists are going to be bouncing around, and just be prepared that you could just take 10 points of damage in one turn, and it would suck because everyone likes to fetch aggressively. It seems in Modern. So
yeah, I had to take 5 on turn 1, like fetch shots, Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's tough. I've actually started doing that too with Infect, where I'm like, I'll use my Gataxian probe and then fetch shock.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, 15, okay.
Probe,
That was
fetch,
fun.
shock. Listener elf. Too bad you don't play Thoughtseize. You just go to 13 on turn 1.
Yep, easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
All right, so that's the Jund list. Then we've got 3 other decks that we wanted to talk about. The Mono Blue Delver.
Megas Elemental?
That caught me by surprise because there was the normal like Grixis Delvers and other Delver lists that were running around. Delver is not as popular as it once was because why not just play Twin? So this was an interesting one because it was the mono blue version of it, and 15 creatures. This is the list that I said could have had Jace in it.
Yeah. I probably. Like, look at the stuff that it's going to flashback. Hour of Need? How could you not want to?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hour of Need? What the heck? That's different.
Hour of Need, huh? I didn't even see that in there.
Yeah, it's a one of. Holy crap.
So exile
You just need another 3 for
creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller puts a 4/4 blue Sphinx creature token with flying onto the battlefield. It costs 3, and then you can pay 2 more to give more targets Sphinxes.
Yep, I don't know. I was gonna say, like, is he striving it and then putting the counters on the new Megas Elemental? But that sounds terrible. That sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I did not expect Hour of Need. I'm gonna level with you guys right now. I didn't see that one coming.
We've also got our Stratus Dancer here. 2 of.
Yeah. I think Stratus Dancer's great.
Yeah. Being able to counter stuff is pretty good. Plus, he's got flying, so nice evasion. Can be a threat on his own.
Just kind of goes with the Delver plan. Like, you play him as a morph, and then you've got a threat. It's just a 2/2, but and you can flip it, or you can just play turn 2 if you just need your 2 on flyer.
Yep.
But you can flip it, counter the thing, and just keep tempo.
Yeah.
And I think this is really powerful. It fits right into the plan. So I really like its inclusion.
I mean, the normal Snapcasters that you'd expect to see, 4 Snap, 4 Delvers. We've got 2 Click in there. Your mono blue, and why not run Click? Glass Spinner, I think that's cool.
Yeah, the Kira.
Yep, help protect your guys a little bit more if for whatever reason you don't have any counter magic available to you. Plus it's again flying. Pretty much everything except for the Elemental and Snap have flying in his deck.
It's kind of cool. Mono blue flyers.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Elemental though?
Unless you're doing really crazy stuff, I don't generally like this card. Like, I'm looking at his spells here. Vapor Snake is one that, he's able to run 4 because he's running a couple of Megas. Yeah. His is never truly dead. It's just like blue, put a counter on my Elemental.
Put 2
or
counters.
2 counters. Yep. Yeah. That's better if it's 2 counters. I thought it was 1.
Oh, yeah, 2 counters. And plus you've got Gataxian Probes, Serum Visions.
Yeah. The thing about those is I'd rather just draw my card, usually.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, he's only running 2. So it's not that big of a deal. But I'm not a huge fan of this card in Modern. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I've never really liked it that much. It is 2 counters, which makes it a lot better in my eyes. I thought it was just 1. So maybe I've been wrong. But
I still think that can get replaced for Jace.
Yeah, I think Jace would be better.
But it seems like this is kind of more of a budget version, too. I mean, it's just straight up 19 islands.
Yeah.
No fetches with it, nothing like that, but...
Yeah, I think with Niv Magus, maybe you don't want to switch that one for Jace, just because it is like a tempo card.
Okay.
Like, Delver usually wants to play a threat turn 1, and then kind of just get tempo from there.
True.
So
okay, so if you don't have Delver, you at least will have your Elemental.
Yeah, you got something. But, yeah, exiling a spell, though, it's such a high cost.
Yeah.
To make a 3/4, like, Delver's so good because you pay 1 mana and then you get a 3/2 flyer.
Yep.
But Niv Magus Elementals, you pay 1 mana, you get a 1/2, and you can make it a 3/4 if you pay another card and more mana. So it is a little sketch. I think this guy's tested the deck more than I have, obviously.
Correct.
So I'm gonna go with his judgment. My initial thought would be that no, I don't really want Niv Magus, but yeah, I don't know, man. This could be sweet. Like maybe there's some other blue What other blue one drops are there? Like, can you think of any? I actually can't. Like Flying Man? I don't want.
No,
Is that even modern legal?
I can't think of anything that I'd want a one-drop blue spell creature.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, maybe this is just the next best.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. Hey, if he needs more of that effect, then he needs more of that effect.
So his sideboard is as you would expect. More counter magic in there. It's got another glass spinner, batter skull, shackles, spell skites, kind of the normal stuff. It does have a disrupting shell though.
Yeah, you got 2 main too.
So that's adding the echoing truth, hibernation, return all green permanents to their owner's hand. Hating on all the green decks.
Stupid hibernation.
hey, I don't want to hear it. You run choke, okay?
Yeah, I have choke. I do actually have choke in my sideboard.
I hate dealing with choke.
filthy blue island cards. Stop untapping.
But this is a nice kind of budgety version. Like if you have the cryptics already, and you're like, you know what, I want to play just sort of a Delver deck and don't want to go for the Grixis, don't want to buy all this extra stuff like fetches and things like that, you could just play this. The rest of it's relatively cheap.
Yeah,
if you've got Snap and Cryptics already.
Cryptics actually trending down right now, isn't it? I mean, it's like trending down from like $40 to 32.
32 for the Lorwyn version.
28 for
Modern Masters. That's pretty good.
28 for or 27 for the most recent one. So yeah, Cryptic is surprisingly affordable at $30 right now.
Yeah, so that was the mono blue list. We've got 2 more lists that we wanted to talk about. Next one, Esper Gifts.
Jace time.
Jace time, yeah, exactly. So there's 4 of Jason here. This is the only list that.
What is it at?
Yep, it's running Ghost Council, Elish Norn, 2 Snap Captors. If anybody played during the Innistrad standard where they had Unburial Rights and were like bringing back creatures from the graveyard, it's kind of a very similar style that they're doing here. They're going to throw down Obsidian or Elish Norn or something like that, and they've got ways to start bringing them back. They have Unburial Rights.
I wouldn't really say it's like the Junk Rights deck, though.
Right. They've got 3 Vengeance in there. I think they had one other. I thought they had one other. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just those 2.
I mean, like Gifts Ungiven pretty much does that.
Yeah. So why don't you explain what Gifts does for those that aren't familiar with it?
So the basic combo, obviously you can just value gifts, which is go find 4 cards, make your opponent choose 2 that you don't get, which is fine. That's generally not what this deck's looking to do. They're looking to get 2 cards. So with Gifts Ungivens, it's search your library for 4 cards with different names. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, and then you put the 2 they choose into your discard. So if you choose just 2 cards, they have to pick both of them. And you can get Unburial Rights, which has flashback, and then generally like Elish Norn.
Yep.
Or Obsidian if you want to finish her. And then you get to cast your Unburial Rights on your next turn. And you generally gifts on their end step. So it's like, oh, you tapped out. Okay, gifts, put Obsidian into play. And have fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, GG. I generally see Elish Norn more common, but I think Obsidian's kind of a cool finisher.
Yeah.
I would say the black-white one from Theros that exiles stuff would be better if not for the fact that it's almost uncastable, like for mana.
Right.
And Obsidian and Elish Norn, less so Elish Norn, you can actually just cast them, and it's not insane to see that happening. So that's kind of cool. I also like it's just so much removal. Look at all this.
It is. It's got Wrath in there, Supreme Verdict, Damnation, Slaughter Pack, Murderous Cut, Go for the Throat,
Path to Exile.
Path. Oh yeah, 3 paths.
Yeah.
So lots of that. Then it's got the
There's a lot of removal.
Thoughtseize, Inquisitions, Duress. Pretty good stuff. I like that they also are running Lingering in there though.
Yeah, Lingering Soul is just a good card. Also explain why there's so many one-ofs in this deck. Again, it's actually Gifts Ungiven. So if you're like, oh, I really need a Wrath now. Okay, I'm going to Gifts Ungiven. I'll pick Damnation, Supreme Verdict, Wrath of God. Yeah. And then they pick 2 of those that you don't get, and you get the other Wrath.
Yep.
So it's just a way of forcing to get the thing you need. It's the same as like his
Exactly.
discard. There's one Duress main deck, one Thoughtseize, and then some Inquisitions. So you can get
Guaranteed you
those
get
three
one.
plus like a Slaughter Pact or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting like 2 discard spells, which is great. So if you ever see decks that have a lot of one-ofs and they have a Gifts Ungiven, that's generally why.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a solid deck.
That's cool.
Got 5th place at one of the states there.
Very good.
Sideboard, pretty self-explanatory. Engineer Explosive, Leyline, Stony Silence. Purge.
I hate Leyline of Sanctity.
You hate it?
Does that deck not just, or that card not just bother you?
Well, when I play,
This is coming from
it
a
doesn't
gun,
bother me,
so.
and the other decks that I play actually use it in the sideboard, so I love it. But
Yeah, I hate it.
I'm not the one targeting it. Actually, no.
Yeah,
If I'm playing my mill deck, I hate it.
Yeah. Man, it's so frustrating when you're like, okay, I'm gonna beat this Amulet Bloom player, I can do it, and they just board in Leyline. And you're like, well, the Duress and Thoughtseize are not very good anymore.
These are useless.
Yeah. You can still get them with the Liliana, they're plussing, but you can't minus, you can't even like edict their Titans.
Yeah.
Oh, Leyline of Sanctity, you're so annoying.
Yeah, so the board's just like more removal stuff, more hate, and counter magic and stuff, so
Yeah, Counter Squall.
yeah, that's cool.
Whoa.
Calm down.
I'm gonna let you finish, but you need to calm down.
Yeah, so it's a pretty fun deck. It does take a little bit of thinking involved in it too about what you need to get when you gifts, and making sure that you get the right stuff. And again, it's just one of those decks that you'll get better with it the more you play, and you'll probably lose a lot when you start. But
You're gonna lose so much when you start.
Yeah.
Like a lot is understating it.
Sorry.
You have like 75% losses, and they're almost all going to be your fault.
Yeah, yeah. And
But that's okay. That's how you start out with these complicated decks.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got money to spend, or you already have your Jaces, just go ahead, pick the rest of the stuff up.
It's sad that a standard card is the most expensive card in this deck.
Yeah, that's
I don't particularly like that. I'd love to play Jason standard. I'm not going to be able to.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy with my 2 of them, and I'll stick with that.
You too, yeah. Well, it's fine. You just use those the little placement cards.
There you go. Look, yeah, here they are.
You got more at home. Shrug.
All right, so our last list.
Don't do that, everyone.
Yeah,
don't ever do that. That's cheating.
The last list. I like this list a lot.
Of course.
Because it's super hateful.
Yeah.
And I'm a bad person. So
It's
called
good.
Mardu Pox.
Yeah.
You run 4 Fulminators,
I want to play this deck.
right? Destroy
Play it.
non-basic land. You run 4 Smallpox. Each player loses a life, discards a card, and sacrifice a creature and sacrifices a land. Awesome. You're also running Boom and Bust, which Boom is destroy target land you control and target land you don't control, or you can pay 6 and destroy all lands.
Yeah. So it is really boom, and what you do is you target your fetch land and their not fetch land, and then you pop your fetch land.
Yep. Or
Yes.
you can target, because they run the flagstones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when that dies, you search your library for a planes.
Yep.
And put it into play tapped. So
Also, that is good.
yeah, that actually works.
Mhm.
And it runs Haunting Echoes there, so you can sit there and be like, you know what? Exiling all cards in your graveyard. Oh, look, you have your lands in your graveyard. Now I'm going to search your whole library and your hand for all non-basic lands.
So rude.
Yeah. It's super hateful. And you run like Lingering Souls, you're running Bitter Blossoms, Liliana, Gideon, as well as a bunch of burn spells, Lightning Bolts, Lightning Helix, Colgress's Command, you've got Damnation in there. So
I like the
super hateful.
Fulminators. That's really interesting. This deck must have the best matchup versus Tron imaginable.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't lose.
Oh, I'd hate to play them if I was playing Tron.
Turn 2, you Boom Bust. Turn 3, Fulminator Mage.
It's
Turn
just
4,
like,
Liliana.
scoop.
Just don't even try. Don't even try. I guess this is another deck that would have a good matchup against Amulet Titan as well. Or
Yeah.
Bloom Titan.
Yep.
kind of interesting. I might try this one out. I've got most of this stuff. Well, except for the Gideons.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I don't have fulminators, or Gideons right now.
Oh, I guess I would need the lands too. Lava Claw reaches. Woo!
Look out!
That's yeah, looking fresh there, Lava Claw reaches. I think it's he's just like, yeah, I need a creature land. This is playable, I guess.
It's red black with fire breathing for a 2/2.
Yeah. This is not the best of manlands, everyone. It's okay. I mean, if you really need a manland, it's passable. But man, he's just sad he can't run. What's the red green one? Raging Ravine.
Raging Ravine. Yep.
Raging Ravine would be great. Although I mean, it's more expensive to activate. I guess that's a problem. Do you think they'll play Shambling Vet in this deck?
Well, that's what black, white, and a colorless activate.
Yeah, there's a 2 thinker. Because like it's grindy. Like
Yeah,
it's better.
I wouldn't mind putting that in over the Lava Claw reaches, but I don't know how many times he's sitting there going, "Oh, I've got all this extra mana and really nothing else that I can spend it on. I'm just going to pump up my Lava Claw and swing in." But
I think the idea is just like having manlands is really good in this deck because you don't need creatures out to be attacking.
Right.
So you just sack the not Lava Claw reaches. The question is like, is Shambling Vent better? I think they'll probably do like 2 Lava Claw, 1 Vent or something.
Yeah, it's also probably the having extra red mana available and black mana.
Yeah,
he's got so much white in there to help with the flagstones. That he's only running 2 blood crypts, so I think that's why he's got the. But I think 2 and 1 would be cool, having the life link and everything.
Yeah, hey, it's definitely something we're thinking about. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the Battle for Zendikar cards that are actually making an impact.
Yeah.
Shambling Vent hasn't really yet, but we see that here that Gideon is, which is cool.
Gideon is. I wouldn't be surprised though if we saw Shambling Vents maybe in some of the
I think
lists.
So.
Yeah.
I don't think Abzan wants it. Like the green-white one's just better.
Yeah.
But I think here, like Shambling Vent's a real card in this deck. I think they should look into it. And the red-white one's coming out in when? Like 3 months from now? So
is it 3 months already?
Well, it's both the Gatewatch, right? It's the next set.
Is that just like right at the start of the new year?
I think so.
Oh gosh.
It's in January.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, that's cool. But yeah, I definitely would like to make this deck. Even the sideboard stuff is just kind of more hate. Anger the Gods, Inquisition, Shadow of the Storm, Slaughter Game, Thought Seizes, Wrath, Rakdos Charm, Stony Silence, and Kitchen Banks. Yeah.
He's got some removal.
Yes.
A lot of it is of the Wrath variety.
Yeah.
2 Angers, a Shadow Storm, a Wrath on the sideboard, and then Damnation main. Like, that's pretty good.
That's the other thing. I don't have Damnation.
How much is the Damnation card? Oh, good, $60. That's
you
so
can
ridiculous.
get yourself a Judge promo for $109.
Yeah, or the player reward for 70.
Ooh,
that's what I have actually.
That's a cool one. Full art foils.
Yeah, I got it at a GP, but it's like peeling.
I
was pissed.
Yeah.
I traded in my tickets for that.
I traded my tickets for this.
Yeah.
Cool. So I like the Mardu Pox list.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna make that at some point.
You have a Pox list, don't you?
Well, I've got 8 rack. Yeah.
8 rack. Okay.
Yeah.
So like similar, but not quite the same.
Right. I don't get to destroy your lands and laugh as you
don't
cry.
get to kill lands. Alright, so those are some cool decks from the states. Let's look at the upcoming GPs. This is just going to be a reminder, because we talked about it like this will be the 3rd time.
Yep.
Halloween, we have Porto Alegre in Brazil, which I actually think might have been changed. You should look. I thought I heard something about that GP being pushed back. No, that was one in Argentina, never mind.
Oh, okay.
And then Pittsburgh, November 21st, 22nd.
Which I'll be going to.
Which you'll be going to, yeah. So if you're there, definitely talk to the Nan Man, because he's the man.
I'll be there playing, in fact.
Woo!
And the whole main deck is now foil, except for the lands.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's pretty sweet.
But I don't want to foil the lands because you can't get a foil white border Pendelhaven. So I don't.
Look, man, you need to not be playing white border.
Oh, but it's so good.
Oh, it's so gross. I had white bordered chokes. I think
that's awesome.
So, like, if you're gonna play choke, you should probably just play white bordered.
Because everybody hates white borders anyway, and they hate
not
being
so
able
everybody
to play
hates
their islands. So it's like
everybody hates white border, and then you just tilt them more.
Here's and plus everything else in your deck will be black border, and then you just have this one white border choke.
Yeah, just tilt them so hard. Like, oh, it's white border. Actually, I use the black border ones, but man, I think I'm switching. I don't know. We'll see. These are the questions that I have about my Jund deck.
Should I troll people even harder?
Should I troll at a deeper level than I already am?
Alright, so those are the upcoming events.
Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to our main topic. Mm-hmm. You want to intro it?
So basically, we're going to discuss a little bit of the ban list, because as people know, in extended formats, they often have to ban or limit certain cards to make the meta more fair, essentially, and not make it oppressive with just the same decks winning over and over and over again, like we saw with, for example, the pod decks, Jund for a while there, with their cascading and other such shenanigans that they've been able to do. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the previous bans and unbannings that have basically taken place. And plus, we may talk a little bit more in depth of certain cards and how it's affected things, but ban list time. That's really
I really want to get this one done before the Pro Tour. Yeah, because I think it's the next Pro Tour that's modern, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so there's going to be a ban restricted notice in like 2.5 months, 3 months, or whatever it is. So I wanted to get, talk about the ban list before that happens, and we can, speculate on what might get unbanned.
Yeah.
And, just kind of have a discussion of the history of Modern and kind of the broken decks. So yeah, let's just start up. So in August 2011 is when Modern became a thing, and it actually started with a ban list. Most of these are just from either cards that were too good and extended, like Valakut, or cards that kind of dominated Standard, which would be stuff like, where is it? Bitter Blossom, there we go.
Yeah.
Bitter Blossom and like Artifact Lands and stuff like that.
Right.
It was Jete, another one. So I'll just read out the list. The initial ban list was Ancestral Vision, which is the suspend draw 3. Yep. I think pretty obvious there. The Artifact Lands were just too good with Affinity. Bitter Blossom, we just come off Lorwyn Standard, and people were a little salty about Bitter Blossom. Maybe a little too good in the Fairies deck.
Yeah.
Chromox, which I'm not specifically sure why it's banned. I'm pretty sure it's just because crazy combo decks do stuff. Like, the mana was too fast.
Yeah.
I don't know the specific deck that broke it, though. Do you?
No, I do not know the specific deck that broke it.
Dark Depths was a combo with Vampire Hexmage and Legacy already, so they didn't really want that in Standard, in Modern. Dread Return is the busted Dredge card.
Yeah.
Do not want this to ever be unbanned.
No.
Please stay banned forever. Glimpse of Nature, I think, was I'm not sure if the Legacy Elves deck was the big thing then, but I think there was an extended deck that played this.
Yeah, I think it was an Elf deck.
Yeah, it was Elves. I'm just not sure what format it was. It was Legacy or Extended, and it was just too good there.
Right, so they're just nope, we're not going to let that happen.
Yeah, we're done. Gogol Grave Troll, another one from the Ravnica Standard days, which was just too good. Hypergenesis? I don't know how this works, man. Do you know how this combo works?
Let's see. Hypergenesis is green. Suspend 3 by paying 1 colorless and 2 green. Starting with you, each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card from his or her hand into play. Repeat this process until no one puts a card in play.
It's Eureka. I don't know why this was banned.
I
think it's probably something just like they don't want you to cascade into it.
Probably.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that there was some deck with Hypergenesis and nobody liked the format. I'm guessing they just cascaded into it, but that one I'm actually not entirely sure. But we got Jason Mind Sculptor, who was just too good in Standard. Mental Misstep is the dumbest card ever. It made one format better. It made Vintage better. That was
Yeah.
it. It's just terrible everywhere else. Since there's Divining Top is partially due to power, partially due to the fact that it just makes games take so long, and I really don't, I don't want it in the format. Like I like that it's banned,
Hmm.
and I think it should probably be banned in Legacy too. It's just it slows the game down so much, and you take so many draws, which just kind of sucks. We also have Skull Clamp, again, just too strong an affinity in like any deck that has one toughness creatures. Stoneforge Mystic, same reason as Jason Mind Sculptor. Sword of the Meek is a combo card with oh, what's that one called? Something Foundry. I don't remember the name.
Don't remember.
You sack this Thopter Foundry. You sack this with
Oh,
Thopter
yeah.
Foundry, make a 1/1, and then Thopter Foundry is like, hey, look, or sorry, Sword of the Meek, would it's in your graveyard and a 1/1 enters play, or a one toughness creature, I think. You can put it back into play. So it's not like an infinite combo because it takes mana to do, but it's so much value that the assumption here is it's too strong. Then we have Umezawa's Jitte, which was just way too good in standard, and Valakut was an extended deck that was way too good.
Yeah.
I think that was a Scape Shift deck, and it was the same thing here, where they thought it was going to be too powerful. As it turns out, not so much.
Not as
Yeah.
much.
Not so much. So what do you think about this initial ban list?
It made sense with a lot of the decks that they were really worried about being too oppressive, and like some of the cards like
Yeah.
make perfect sense with combos and stuff, and you did not want that to happen, or like
Yeah.
Jace and things like that, and you're like, okay, cool, let's just try initially cutting all this stuff out and see how it works. Especially like with Bitter Blossom, we see now with how it's been unbanned that it's not not
It's not
oppressive.
even good.
I mean, there's a few decks you see it in, but it's not something that's like, oh my god, everybody needs to run this card in every single deck, and it's gonna just dominate everything. No,
Yeah.
no.
It's like a 4 in the token list.
Yeah, I
That's
only
good
run
there.
3 actually in mine, so
Yeah. 3, yeah.
yeah.
I've seen it in like Jun and Abzan sideboards, which is kind of cool.
Yes, I have seen that, or some of the Grixis twin decks or Grixis Control will run them in their sideboard too.
This is so grindy.
Yeah.
Just go to grind town. Go to grind town. What does that mean? Go to grind town.
Grind town.
I think like most of these are pretty good bans. The only thing that's been unbanned so far are two things: are Golgari Rachel and Bitter Blossom.
And the
Which-
Valakut.
Oh, and Valakut, yeah, of course. Valakut was just so long ago, I forgot.
Yeah.
So, like, Valakut's been a deck, it's, been in Scape Shift, but it's certainly not oppressive, like, it's not even a good deck right now.
Right.
We talked about Bitter Blossom. Golgari Grave Troll did actual nothing when it was unbanned. Everyone's like, oh my god, the sky's falling. No, it's really not. It's not even that
Yeah,
good.
no, I mean,
It's not good enough.
Golgari Grave Troll is a cool card in general, but it's not gonna do much in Honor. Some people have tried it with like Life of the Loam decks and things like that, but it's not
Yeah,
even
Dredge
then.
Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's cool there. I think it does make the deck better, but Dredge Mine's not a problem.
Right.
Is there anything here that, like, I think the only card here that I really wouldn't mind seeing, given a try would be Sword of the Meek. Just because it's, like, it's a way to win a game that doesn't involve Splinter Twin, and I like that. Because I'm bored of Splinter Twin. We've had so much Splinter... Oh, also, I actually think Jace should be unbanned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're ready for that.
I'm ready for some mind sculpting. Like, it's the same thing. I don't think that it's too good, and it'll make the blue decks not have to play Splinter Twin, which they just have to now.
Okay.
So that's my opinion. Like, it could be totally way too good, and then we'd have like 3 months of terrible modern. And I think that's actually just a risk I'm willing to take, as long as it's not like Pro Tour. Like, if they unban it after Pro Tour, like the next BNR after, like, we're gonna try this out for 3 months and see what happens. I don't mind stuff like that. Like, yeah, I mean they mess with the format for 3 months, but in the long run, that's not a huge deal. And what if it's good? Like, if it's a good change, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah, true. I mean, I like brainstorming, so
Yeah, brainstorming's sweet. Yeah, I got a Melt Commander deck. Jason's so good in that deck.
Gosh.
You just brainstorm every turn. Like brainstorm's already the best card, so
Yeah.
doing it every turn's even better. Yeah, that's the original ban. Why don't you go ahead and read out the next one there?
All right. Where is this list that you're reading from? The
Oh, it's at the bottom of the. It's the next page on the thing.
Oh.
Did you find it?
Oh, okay, I see it. Now
There you go.
Now I, you know,
Hey, you can read them wrong.
reads and stuff. Okay, so for after the initial one, the next one, which was only like the next month, really.
Yeah, it was the next
So-
month. It's right after the first Pro Tour.
Ah, okay, that makes sense why that happened. So the next couple ones that did get banned were Blazing Shawl, Cloud Post, Green Sun Zenith, Ponder, Preordain, and Rite of Flame.
Yeah.
So,
So I see something in common with all these cards,
Yeah.
or a lot of them. They're either cantrips or combo cards.
yeah, and that's a big part of it. You'll see. So let me pull up Blazing Shawl. We'll start with that one.
This one's weird. Do you know why this one was banned?
No.
Okay, I
So
actually do.
I missed all that early stuff with it. So remove a
this
red
one-
card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game rather than play. Pay its mana cost. Target creature gets plus X plus 0 until the end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the evil doers doing with this card?
Infecting people.
Ah,
So
okay.
you would play this plus like I think it was the red card where you can remove 2 red cards from your hand to cast it, and you take another combat or something. I don't remember which one it was. It was some expensive red card.
Yeah.
But it was a control deck, and then they would, they'd attack you with their unblockable infect dude.
Yeah.
They'd do this, and then they just like have mana on tap to counter your shit.
So that's really
So
mean.
you couldn't interact with it at all. This is Sam Black's card that he got banned. He said that it's a rite of passage to get a card banned in a format, and yeah, he's done it.
Success.
Yep, success. Yeah, I thought this one was really funny. There was a modern tournament in Edmonton recently. I didn't end up going, but it was a no ban list tournament. So you could play Jace, you could play Skull Clamp, you could play whatever you want.
Uh-huh.
I think Blazing Shoal won.
Nice.
This is so good. But like, imagine Blazing Shoal with Ancestral Vision and like
Yeah.
Chrome Mox and stuff.
Ugh,
You can see how it won.
gross.
Yeah, pretty rude.
Alright, so the next one was Cloud Post, which is a land that you tap it for 1 mana for each Cloud Post that's in play.
I think it's each Locust, right?
Locust, yeah. So the
Play like Glimmer Post and stuff too.
yes, so basically you can get so much mana off of it. 'Cause
Yeah. That was did they cast Emrakul with this deck? I never actually looked for it. I know it was just a deck built around getting Cloud Posts out
that
and
wouldn't
making
surprise me. Just ramp into some
way too
giant
much
thing.
mana.
So
Maybe this is like a primetime deck too. I don't know.
oh yeah.
I know Primeval Titan Cloud Post is like insane. Obviously.
Obviously.
Next one here is Green Sun Zenith. The reason was it just made the green creature decks too consistent with what they did. Like every game played out the same. So it wasn't really banning based on power level. It was more just, hey, you know what? We want to have some different games.
yeah, and that's
Which I agree.
makes sense in that sense. So no more Green Sun Zenith. Oh well. And the other ones like Ponder and Preordain pretty much are in the same category. Like you're looking at your top couple cards with Ponder in particular. You look at your top 3, put them back in any order, and you could shuffle your library if you want. Draw a card.
Yep. Pretty standard there.
Oops, if I can spell Preordain. Same sort of concept. Scry 2, draw a card for 1 mana. Yes, please. I will scry and draw cards. Too good to be in there to help set up your draws the way that you want them to. And then we've got Rite of Flame. Oh, Rite of Flame. Right, if I could spell the card correctly, and not spell it the incorrect way, right? of Flame for you guys. And this was another sort of combo related card.
Storm.
Storm, exactly. You pay 1 red, add 2 red to your mana pool, then add 1 red to your mana pool for each card named Rite of Flame in your graveyard.
Yay!
Yay, all the manas!
Pretty much, Storm was just really good at this point, and Wizards hate Storm.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Wizards hate Storm.
See, Ponder and Preordain.
Exactly. Ponder, Preordain, set up your draws. Here's Rite of Flame. Here's all this mana. And
the first Pro Tour was kind of plagued by combo decks, specifically Splinter Twin, and then Storm, and this Blazing Shoal deck. So, pretty much they just really wanted to neuter all of them.
Yeah.
Except, I shouldn't say they wanted to neuter Twin. They just wanted Twin to be more of a fair deck like it is now.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to December 2011. Punishing Fire and Wild Nacatl are banned. Punishing Fire really just because of the Jund deck that had Punishing Fire and Grove of the Burn Willows.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of like... If anyone doesn't know how the combo works, Punishing Fire is 2 mana, deal 2 damage, and whenever your opponent gains life, you can pay 2 mana... I think it's 2 mana, right?
Only 1 red.
Is it 1 red?
Yeah.
Okay, you pay a red to put it back in your hand.
Yeah.
So you Punishing Fire, and then you tap Grove of the Burn Willows, trigger this, use the red from the Grove to get Punishing Fire back, and you can cast Punishing Fire again.
It's really mean.
Yeah, you just slowly grind them out. You kill all their creatures, and then you just start dealing 1 damage to them each time you cycle through the combo, which is 3 mana. So
so it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and Nacatl, I think the reason was they wanted more diversity in their creature decks, is what they said.
I guess,
like, it wasn't even so much that Nacatl was too good. There's like, no, we want other aggro decks. Yeah. And what actually ended up happening is aggro decks just went away, except for Affinity.
Right. And that's, But they did unban it. They've unbanned it with Bitter Blossom, and now we do see Zoo again.
Mm-hmm.
So that is cool. We are starting to see that diversity in aggro decks.
Yeah, I agree. The Nacatl is in no way broken, so I think it's fine. You want to take the next one there?
Yeah, sure. All right,
These ones are getting shorter because it's really, sniping cards at this point as opposed to just trying to change the format in a drastic way.
Right.
So it's like, look, they unbanned this 1 card or banned
so
2 cards.
September 2012. So we didn't have any changes for pretty much an entire year after that, 2011 to 2012.
Speaks to how good the format was.
Yeah, and then in 2012, Valakut was unbanned.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the
birth of Scapeshift.
Exactly. Let me pull that up for those that aren't familiar. We've talked about Scapeshift before on here, but it's the land that basically can lightning bolt people whenever you have a mountain enter the battlefield. If you have 5 other mountains, but with Scapeshift, you can have them all trigger at once because they're all entering.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good if you can.
You get to do the cool stuff.
Yeah. So they decided to unban it, and it's not like a super oppressive deck. It's still a strong.
It's still
deck,
good.
But it's nothing super crazy there.
I think I could live with Scapeshift being a little better, but I don't want it to be the best deck.
Yeah.
It's a cool little deck. I actually really enjoy playing Scapeshift. I don't know if you've tried it too much, but it is very fun.
I have not piloted it yet. I have played against it. I'd love to pilot it and see.
Yeah, it's really sweet. You should try it, even just like on X-Mage.
Yeah. It's been a while since I played
or
X-Mage.
you can proxy it up or something.
Yeah.
So next one here, May 2013, a good bit later. I think, what is that, like 5 months or something?
Yeah.
Bloodbraid Elf and Seething Song are both banned. Seething Song here because of Storm again.
Yep.
They just want to neuter all the playable Storm cards, which is sad because Storm is kind of cool. I don't hate it. And Bloodbraid Elf was, I think, a miss. Actually, like they should have banned Deathrite Shaman here.
Yeah,
but
well, I'm happy that they got rid of Bloodbraid, though.
Yeah, that's fair. Bloodbraid would be really good right now.
Yeah.
With Culligan's Command. Oh, man. I just want to Bloodbraid into Culligan's Command so bad. Yeah, it was really the Jund deck is just too good at this point, so they needed to ban something out of it. And Bloodbraid was what they picked. Yeah, I think it was a lot of it is Death Knight's very new here.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that it's the problem yet, but we'll see with the next ban announcement. Oh, look at that! Death Shaman's banned.
Look at that. That's a good one to so Bloodbraid and Deathrite go hand in hand with. They were just making Jund and Abzan and those decks just so good. Too good, some might say. And I remember playing when people would be like, all right, here's Deathrite, and then here's like turn 2 Liliana. Good luck.
You're dead.
And it's just like, no, this is no. Just no.
Turn 2 Liliana into turn 3 Bloodbraid into like Tarmogoyf or something.
Yeah, like no.
That's so sweet. I want to do that.
So not only did we finally see the death of Deathrite, we got to see some unbannings. Bitter Blossom and Wild Nacatl did come back, and so that was the start again of Zoo coming back. Bitter Blossom really allowed black-white tokens to become a thing. In Modern,
more of a thing. It was always a kind of a thing.
Yeah, it was much more of a fringe thing. Now you could see it like tier 2. You know,
it's very good. It's got a good matchup against the Jund decks.
I love playing against Jund with it.
Yeah,
Jund players hate it, but I love it.
I think I have a winning record against tokens somehow. Like just with Golgari Charms being good, and
Golgari is pretty good.
This is another one where I really like Treetop Village over Raging Ravine because it's got trample. Yeah. So you can actually put a clock on them instead of just like, you have to chump block this land every turn.
So those are the unbannings. But what about January? We got to see, thankfully, our two
delve cards.
Yeah, basically, if you guys were not playing Modern very much,
it was the worst.
From when Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time came out, you had to play blue, and there were decks like burn decks specifically splashing blue just for these cards.
Mm-hmm.
And a format becomes warped by cards when decks that don't run blue start splashing it just for these cards. So Dig and Treasure Cruise luckily were banned. I think that was the right choice to get both of them. A lot of people were like, maybe you should have only done one or this, that, but no, I think both is good.
Looking back now, I agree with the choice. I think at the time, I was like, I don't know if Dig really needed it. Dig needed it.
Yeah.
Like, just look at what happened in Legacy.
Yeah.
Legacy became a not good format for 3 months. I guess 6 months, really. Or was it 9 now? I guess it's been 9 months. Yeah. Like a full year. Holy crap. Okay. It just keeps getting longer. But Dig Through Time wasn't banned in Legacy. Treasure Cruise was, because it also did the same thing in Modern. But, the format is more powerful. It's more able to, tolerate cards like Dig Through Time.
Yeah.
It's still just too good.
It is. So they got banned, and Birthing Pod got banned. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. So you can either play blue, or you can play Abzan or Birthing Pod, which is also
and that's really... So, Birthing Pod really was like the only creature-based deck that was running around besides like the Abzans with the lilies and this and but like this is like, yes, I'm just gonna play good creatures, and I'm just gonna be able to find all of my creatures whenever I want, and I've got a combo in here that I can gain infinite life or deal infinite damage.
They went into like multiple combos. They got the Spike Feeder, Angel that puts +1 counters on your guys combo eventually, which like made it even worse.
Yeah.
So it kind of hurt. Also, the printing of Siege Rhino turned you either into Combo Pod or Rhino Pod, which would just play 4 Siege Rhinos.
Yeah.
And you just win the games off your Siege Rhinos, and I think it was a really bad time for Modern.
It was very tough.
Yeah. I played still because this is like when I was really getting into the format.
That's I did too.
So I kind of had to, but man, like I had my Goyfs, so I'm like I can't not play.
Yeah.
I just got him. So I gotta do this. So I, obviously get in there and it was rough times.
It was. But we also got to see the unbanning of Golgari Grave Troll, which didn't really do anything. But
Yeah.
after... So this was January of this year, is when all those big bans hit with Birthing
Yep.
Pod, Dig Through Time, and Treasure Cruise. And now the format has diversified a lot more. It's settled in
Yeah.
that if you want to play kind of an aggro-based deck, or a creature-based deck, you've got some options now. We were talking about like the Jund Prowess deck is something you could play. You could play Fish. You could play Affinity. They do have all these collective company decks now. You could play L's. You could actually just play Podless Pod still.
That's the
with
thing.
collective company and Chords of Calling. Like that it actually still works, and you still have the combo pieces, and you have everything just pod. You don't have
Really
pod.
Yeah.
So you can, and then we saw a big rise of Twin too right after all that banning.
Yeah. Twin is already still a deck, but like the Delver deck pushed out a bit. And that banning just meant Twin came back full force.
Yeah.
Which also meant that Jund came back a lot too.
Yep.
Like, Epson doesn't really have a great matchup versus Twin. Jund's matchup versus Twin is, like, laughable.
Yeah.
I see that my opponent's playing Twin. Like, yeah, I can just throw this first game. It doesn't even matter. It can't beat you after sideboard unless they land a Karanos. I don't think I've lost a Twin without a Karanos out in a long time. If they get Karanos, it's pretty tough, but it's just you match up so well because your threats are so much more efficient than theirs because they're playing their combo creatures still because they can't take them out.
Yeah.
Or they can't take out like Pestermites, but man, Pestermite's not that good.
No.
It's just a 2-1.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, but things have settled a little bit more. It's we're seeing a nice diversity in Modern for the top couple decks. It's not just the same one over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So looking at the ban list, you were talking about you would like to see
Some changes.
some changes. You'd like to see
Yeah.
Jace potentially. You'd like to see the sword get
Sword.
added in there.
Yeah. So I think my ideal here would be unban a lot of cards.
Okay.
Like, I would like to see Green Sun Zenith unbanned,
Uh-huh.
Bloodbraid Elf, Jace. Like, I think if you unban all these cards, you need to unban Bloodbraid, like, just to make the general power level of the format higher. I don't want to see Ancestral Vision unbanned, obviously not the artifact lands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can unban Dark Depths, especially with Vespene Sage now. Like, it's already a combo in Legacy, it's probably just too good for Modern.
Mm-hmm.
But, Sword of the Meek I could see. Jite, you can go away forever.
Yeah.
I guess where I'm at right now is I'd like to... I haven't tested this, so like it could be awful. But I'd like to see Green Suns, Jace, what was it called? Bloodbraid Elf, and what was that other card? I had one more. I said it.
Sword of the Meek, Jace.
Sword of the Meek, that's the one, yeah.
Green
Those
Suns,
4.
mm.
I could see those 4 being unbanned, and it might be really cool. Like, obviously, I would like to see Wizards do some testing first, and
Right.
like top pro players and stuff. The big problem I could foresee with that unban would be financial, in that Jason Mind Sculptor's already like $80.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like $280 after. And
Oh
that's
yeah. If that.
it's just too much.
Yeah.
So I think if they unban Jace, there's gonna have to be a reprint. There is a pretty good time for that coming up. I don't think they're gonna do it, but if they were to reprint Jace, Oath of the Gatewatch is like when to do it.
Yeah.
I think Blue's too good though. Like if they made Blue really bad, then they could do it. Because
Right,
obviously
but
he just
that's-
spends the game on his own. But Blue's like the best color again.
I don't know with Green Sun Zenith though, because we've got Chord of Calling and we've got the other searching for those green decks already. Like, do they
Yeah.
need another?
It's just better than those.
True.
I would say that you have to ban Giant Arbor if you're unbanning Green Sun Zenith, because that is it's an issue. It's a mana creature. It's also something late.
Yeah.
But I just think Green Sun Zenith it's just better than Chord by a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I could see it not being unbanned. That's probably the one that I'm waffling the most on, because like what decks does it really make a lot better? They're just like the mid-range creature decks, which is fine.
Yeah.
So I don't really see a problem. I think Chord is also gonna go in different decks. Now that I'm thinking about it, the difference between instant and sorcery is kind of big.
Yeah.
Like it really matters here. I see Green Sun Zenith as a way of just making your deck like a little more, a little more consistent. And Chord is more of a combo card.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
how I see them. So yeah, I don't know. I could see that being a ban list that I'd be pretty happy with. You can't unban Ponder or Preordain. Like
No.
maybe you can unban a Storm card, but doesn't need it. The Storm deck's okay already.
Yeah. I'm sure the Storm players would love it because then they, would do so much
Yeah.
better. But
Like what? We get it back? Seething Song.
oh god,
My long lost brother.
please no.
Everyone else is just crying.
Yeah.
I don't want them. Wow, yeah, Seething Song with what's the enchantment they play?
Oh, the
that doubles it.
yeah.
That would be so gross.
What is that one called again? It's an Ascension, Pyro
Yeah,
Ascension,
there you
or
go.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Pyromancer's Ascension.
There you go.
I don't want to see that. Plus Seething Song.
Yeah, that no,
That's
no.
too good.
I have infinite mana essentially.
3 mana, make 10.
Yeah. No, I think
What
it'd
about
be
you?
interesting with Sword of the Meat because I think that's one of the ones that is not like super crazy. Like
Yeah, it's a combo, but it doesn't just make you lose right away, and you can actually interact with it.
right. So,
Anything else, or you want to just stuff?
as much as I would love to see Jace, because I did not play Standard when Jace was in Standard.
Yeah, no.
I was still like picking up cards and playing kitchen table Magic at that point.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think you can. Like,
I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah, I don't think you can get away with unbanning it right now.
Okay. Like I said, I think if you unban Jace, you unban other stuff
You have
because you
to.
just need to bring the power level of the format up to Jace's level.
Right.
What about Cloud Post? Have you ever is it too good still?
Probably, because there's still all the other locusts in there, aren't there?
Yeah, but I mean, is that too good to be doing? Because we look at Amulet Bloom, they make
True.
mana a lot faster. They don't make quite as much, but they're casting Primeval Titans on turn 2 or even turn 1 sometimes. That's very rare they get to do it on turn 1. I think most of the decks are taking out their Seeming Spirit Guides. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're taking those out. So the turn 1 kill's gone, but turn 2 Primeval Titan is just as good, really.
So, I'm looking at a list right now that somebody had made back in 2011. And now it used to run Green Sun Zenith, which you can't do that anymore. But
yeah.
I mean, it pretty much ramped into every single Eldrazi plus Primeval Titan.
Sweet. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So,
what do you mean you don't want this?
it also ran this creature called Magus of the Candelabra.
Oh, wow.
X
Yeah,
and
okay.
tap it and untap X target lands.
Yep.
So
that's so sweet. You make so much mana.
So I'm okay with not having.
Alright, maybe it's too good. I never did play or I've never seen the deck Cloud Post.
Yeah.
Made. From what I've heard, it wasn't a huge offender, but it sounds like a pretty.
And it also runs, so it runs all the Cloud Posts, the Glimmer Posts, and the land that enters battlefield copy target land.
Yeah, Vesuva.
Yeah, in there too. So
I expected that.
You've got all these mana stuff. And, I mean, we've already got Tron. We've already got.
Yeah, I guess so.
The.
Sounds so sweet though.
It does, but no. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I'm we need to have unbanned really. That's that I'm feeling we need.
Yeah.
At this point in time, because a lot of the stuff is super overpowered, or part of some
a
sort
lot
of
of these
combo. Like,
They're just way too good.
yeah.
I mean, we thought the same about Bitter Blossom originally, though.
Well, true.
People are like, Bitter Blossom is just way too good, and now it's fine, but it's not insane. So, I don't think it's crazy to think that we look at Jason and we're like, oh my god, it was just so good. It was just way too good. Maybe it's not quite that good. Again, I didn't play with him in standard, so you can call me uninformed on this, and I'll not really argue with you. Except I'll always argue.
I just know that if I was playing Infect and I was playing against a blue player and they throw down Jace, I'm not going to be happy.
You're not happy.
I'm not. Like, there's no.
Okay. What if they had a Pestermite and they threw down a Splinter Twin instead, and you just lost?
Well, I've got Vines. I've got more interactions against Splinter Twin than I do against Planeswalkers.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I could see them, like, if you have 2 Infect creatures, though, they're gonna play their Jace, bounce one of them, and then die to the other one.
Yeah.
This isn't like crazy to think about.
True.
So I do think it's gonna take some testing, and I know Wizards doesn't like to do that, but I would like to see a shakeup. I think the Modern is really good right now.
Yeah,
but
but it's also interesting too. Like, the last couple of sets, we have had a lot of cards.
Yeah, they've been
go into Modern too. So, I mean, maybe that we're going to continue to see that happening too. Is that a lot of cards are still that are getting printed are very strong cards and are changing up the format that way.
Yeah, I think just based on like what we've seen from Battle, they're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
Like I think Battle has been the weakest set, constructed wise since probably like Theros.
Yeah.
I guess that was only we skipped cons, but like looking at how powerful all the cards in cons were, and even Return to Ravnica and Innistrad, Theros and Battle for Zendikar are kind of outliers, and Theros even had, I'd say, more really impactful cards than in Standard than Battle for Zendikar. So I think it's still in a downward trend in power level. It's kind of like one of the small problems of the Standard format is it's a lot of cons cards that just like have the Battle for Zendikar duels.
Yeah.
That's how the set felt originally, and it still kind of feels that way. There are certainly some cards in Battle that are good, and like we knew there would be, but it's not a lot. So, if Wizards keep shaking up the format through printing good stuff, then I don't really care about any unbannings. But if they want to take a different direction, then I think it's something to discuss.
No, I'm
not saying this has to happen.
No. Yeah.
Stop playing Modern.
Modern has been progressively getting better. I feel.
It's been great this year.
So.
Modern this year is awesome. Like I've loved the format.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining. I just I want everything I do to be the best it can.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, maybe we can get there. But what about cards in Modern right now that you'd want to see banned?
So the only thing that I thought of that could have maybe popped up in my mind was like something from Goryo's Vengeance deck.
Yeah. I was kind of agreeing.
But even that list itself is not super. You're not seeing it all the time. It
is such a glass cannon.
It is. That's the thing. It is.
I cast the Thoughtseize card. Oh well, I guess I can never win now.
But apart from that, there's nothing else that I'm like. I feel is destroying the format right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only 2 decks that I could see having anything banned out of would be Bloom Titan and and Goryo's Vengeance. Not because they're too strong. Like you look at their records and they're not insane.
Right.
The problem with them is they just kind of go against the fundamentals of Modern, which is wait until turn 4 to kill people.
Yeah.
Like I'd say Splinter Twin is like the quintessential Modern card. Kills you on exactly turn 4.
Right.
Bloom Titan and Goryo's Vengeance, they break that rule, and they do it with enough consistency that maybe they should be toned back a bit.
Okay.
I think, if we're going to ban a card out of Bloom Titan, I don't want to ban Summer Bloom, because that would just destroy the deck and it wouldn't be playable anymore.
Yeah.
I would rather ban Amulet of Vigor, because all that card does is make the deck go insane. It just makes it go hyper crazy fast.
Yeah.
If you have Summer
Bloom,
Bloom,
do the deck with Summer Bloom and everything, and Azusa, without
Yeah.
having Amulet.
Well, I've talked to a friend of mine who plays Bloom Titan.
Yeah.
Like this is the deck he plays in Modern, and I'm like, hey, I want to try something. What would you play over, or like if Amulet was banned, what would you play? And we made that deck and played, and the games were great. Like he was winning on turn 3 or 4, or, like at the earliest. Usually it was somewhere around turn 5.
Yeah.
I had chances to interact with him. It was actually really good matches.
Huh.
So I think banning Amulet, just from the Jund Amulet Bloom side, that view of the format would be good. I think banning Amulet from like the Bloom Twin side would be really terrible though, because man, Bloom already has a tough enough time against Twin.
Right. Right.
It's already a terrible matchup. Just making it worse, that sounds pretty crappy. So, man, I don't know. It's going to be tough to get it perfect. I do think that there are some improvements that can be made, though. And,
What do you think then for Vengeance? What should be?
I would rather just Goryo's Vengeance get banned at
You
this
think
point.
so? Okay.
I think it's...
2 mana is
2 mana is too cheap.
Yeah. I was like, Through the Breach is a little bit later. That's 4 mana or 5 mana, depending.
Yeah.
You can
I have no problem
4.
with Through the Breach.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Like, if that's how you're winning, then sure.
Yeah.
I think it should be Vengeance or Gristlebrand. Gristlebrand is just... It's proved to be so good.
Yeah.
If you can just pick a creature to have out, it's Gristlebrand. It's the best one. I guess, okay, Emrakul, but...
Well, yeah.
the two that the Sneak and Show deck play. But for Modern, I think it is actually Gristlebrand. Like, Emrakul is not the best creature here, just because it is hard to get into play. You have to actually cast it.
Right.
Or, like, use a 4-mana spell, as opposed to just Show and Tell.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I think it's kind of... It's kind of a silly deck, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've played versus it, I assume?
What, Goryo's?
Yeah, the Vengeance deck.
Yes.
You're
There's
just
somebody in
like,
my
well,
shop that runs it, and I was able to beat somebody at the Open in Modern that I got 10th at.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, just barely beat him. And it
Just
went to
barely.
game 3. I'm like...
I've just, like, in my experiences with it, it's just felt like not Magic.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it.
It's not, it's like playing Pokemon, honestly. Have you seen Pokemon, by the way?
It's
Competitive Pokemon is insane.
It is.
This is it's vintage on crack.
That's a good way to put it. Like,
So
I
it's
remember
like-
Pokemon back when it first came out, and it was nothing like what it
Yeah.
is now.
I was like playing basic Pokemon and a Wigglytuff. I'm like, yeah, it's the wave, bitch.
Watch out.
Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna computer search. Yeah, computer search again. Okay, put this one trainer into play. Now I'll draw 7. Like, what the fuck's
Yeah.
going on? This is so weird. Anyway, tangent aside. If you want to see something crazy, go look up some pro level Pokemon. Like, it's just maddening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that because you just kind of do your thing. And you don't actually even care about what your opponent's doing, unless they have some kind of counter magic. But really, it's
But even
can I
then,
go
like,
up?
if people are splicing their spells too, like, there's
Yeah.
not much you can do about it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just let me just go off really hard and win in this one turn. And I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, and you're going to watch.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel very good. I think it feels less like Magic than Storm, and Storm doesn't feel a lot like Magic,
Right.
but Storm, you're abusing mechanics in the game.
Mm-hmm.
In Goryo's Vengeance, you're just doing stupid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, like I said, it's a deck that, like, if you thought sees them, sometimes they just can't win.
Wow, Goryo's Vengeance is $33.
What? That was like $12 earlier this year. That's crazy. I knew I should have bought some. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good discussion on the ban list.
Yeah, I agree. So, let us know, guys, if you think of anything else that you think might need to be unbanned or banned. We'd love to get those sort of discussions going. So next, when do we say after the Pro Tour? We're expecting to see another potential
I think it'll be right before the Pro Tour.
Ring 4? Okay.
Yeah. So I definitely want to do a show once it comes out. I guess that's a while away, so we're probably going to get a couple in before then.
Mhm.
When we can. I know
Once
you're
a
busy
month.
next weekend, right? Yeah, once
Yes.
a month.
Yeah.
Maybe in a couple weeks we'll get one.
Yeah. Sometime in November, because we've got the GP the weekend of the
Yep.
20th, and then Thanksgiving is on the 26th, so I'll be gone that weekend.
What do you mean? Thanksgiving was earlier this month.
You don't even know. Your Thanksgiving over there.
Actually, this is the reason I like it better in Canada. It's nothing like, oh, Canada's better, whatever. It's actually just because then you have more time between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
So you can like build up the want for turkey again. Because I feel like when you eat turkey, like, wow, I ate so much of that turkey. And then I had turkey sandwiches for 3 days straight.
Yep.
I don't want turkey anymore.
I need a break from turkey.
I need a break from turkey. So that's actually the only reason I think it's better.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe the 14th or 7th or something, or that weekend.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I don't know what I'm doing yet.
We'll discuss it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Cool. So that was really our main stuff. Brandon, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we do shout-outs and stuff?
Nope.
Cool. So start us off with shout-outs then. Bam, bam.
All right. So, Brandon/Mutarn here. I think our Twitters are up somewhere. Yeah, our Twitters are up. So you can just look there. I guess if you're listening on to the podcast, at Mutarn, Muataran, you just follow me on Twitter. Easily the best way to just figure out what's going on if you thought I was entertaining, which would be cool. Really doesn't help me in any way. It just makes me feel better about myself. Yep. So definitely do it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Any other projects or anything you're working on?
I am still doing draft videos on YouTube.
Good.
Somewhat sporadically, but they are getting uploaded. I have one of a cube deck that was sweet.
Nice.
Here's actually a little lesson for everyone that we'll learn together if you watch that cube video.
Okay.
When you have upheaval, just cast it. It doesn't matter if you think you can win without it. Just cast the upheaval.
That's good tips and tricks for the day.
I got burned real hard because I didn't want to show the upheaval, so I didn't cast it. And then he cast Time Warp. I'm like, no, not Time Warp.
No.
This is terrible. He's going to ult this Elspeth now. And I died. From like an almost unlosable position. If I cast Time or Upheaval, I don't think I could have possibly lost that game. But, well, I didn't. So.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
Live and learn.
Good stuff. So I, of course, Nan Man. You guys check me out, The Real Nan Man, Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. YouTube is youtube.com/nanman, and that's where these VODs are going to get uploaded. I've been slacking on putting up more videos on YouTube, sadly. I've been meaning to because a bunch of games have been coming out, and I want to play more games and videos, but you know.
Sorry.
Then next month.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Do you have beta?
Yes.
We should play Archon mode.
All right.
I want to play Archon mode, but I haven't had anyone to play with yet.
Yeah, it's fun.
Fucking Robbie's too busy now, man.
Well, yeah. Everybody's too busy now.
He's like famous or something, so now he doesn't have time to play with me
anymore. and I stopped doing StarCraft related stuff. So
you should start again. I'm gonna start again with Legacy.
I should, but we'll see how much free time I have.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching in response to our Modern podcast. We do it once a month. Let us know what you guys think. Give or take about once a month.
It's every 3 weeks.
Yeah, every 3 weeks. That's a good way to. Every 3 weeks or so.
I don't mind that. Every 3 weeks is good.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hope to catch you guys back here next time.